Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how everyone is going through it right now. Now is not the time to go all in. It is not the time to go all in. I was kind of running around today a little bit before my day got going, and I went by one of the 7-Elevens that's close to my space, and an old associate of mine that I used to know of, meaning we used to mingle around the same circles. We wasn't hanging out individually, but we always mingled in the same circles. And he was having a really hard time today, to the point to where it was legible and readable all over his energy, his facial expressions. It was just pouring out of his spirit. And that was kind of like a compilation to me talking to one of my aunts, and then just finding out a bunch of other things that is going on with some of my other family members. Everybody is going through it right now. I mean, his situation was pertaining to other beings trying to manipulate him and sabotage his energy. My family members is more so of a lot of health issues going on. Now is not the time to be going all in. We in a spiritual battlefield. And if you putting all your eggs in one basket right now that's not connected with source, this opposition, these witchy motherfuckers out here is gonna make you pay for it. You are going to have to pay, and I mean with interest. And I'm not talking about tax like 2%, 5% interest. No, they are looking to take 30 to 40 to 60% interest on your vibration and frequencies. With this war being so prevalent right now and everything's ramping up, you want to make sure that you have a plan A, a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. You want to have everything lined all the way up to the T. And what's happening now is, for a lot of us who did make mistakes throughout life, because we all are experiencing this realm of reality right here as well, we are being charged already for our own mistakes that we made throughout life, meaning that we should be further in life and in this realm as far as what we're actually doing than what we are. So we already got one minor holdup, which is us to ourselves, right? But then when you look at everything else outside of you, things that are out of our control, these are the things that's doubling down on top of us. Not including the friends and family who are their own universes, and depending on what state they in, and depending on how connected with source they are, depending on if they're going to be flowing in our same synchronicity. If you are in one of them places in life right now where you are debating on going all in or not going all in, just be aware that once you drop your eggs in that basket, you cannot take them eggs back out that basket. And I know a lot of people feel as though it's like, it's one of those things that they feel like, okay, it doesn't matter what's going on around us, I'm just gonna go all in anyways. These are gonna cause people to crash out a lot faster and sooner than what they originally was planning on doing spiritually. It also puts people in a more harmful, detrimental situation to them and to others around them that they are responsible for. You know, a lot of us are out here responsible for more beings than just ourselves. So you got to remember what's at risk when you are in the midst of this battlefield, because we all going through it. Whether you riding with the Creator and you call yourself a chosen one, a warrior, whatever name or title you put on it, I just know when I see people with my same colored jersey on, they on my team. That's what I do know. We are going through it extremely, like to infinity and beyond. The beauty in ours is, though, with us being connected with Source, us practicing these daily habits and rituals every day to make sure we stay connected with sources, we don't live in a suffering state, even with everything happening on around us. That's not the space we live in. But then we got the middle ground people, which who just follow the witchy playbook because the witchy playbook is in charge and they need a leader. Then you got the ones who are self-aware witches and warlords in that space that are starting to wear a lot of the karmic energy that they put out. A lot of people feel as though, like, if you do one thing, like, you're just gonna keep having all these ratchet things happen to you. You gotta realize the opposition, when they're going through this long suffering, traumatic process from within, and they're constantly going through all the pain and all the obstacles and tasks they putting people away intentionally just because of their own selfish needs, their process becomes a whole lot more challenging. The ones I feel bad for, though, are the ones in the middle. And the guy I was chopping it up with today, I could really see it in his spirit. And I was literally just running in the store about to grab me something and run back out. But his vibration calls for me to stop, talk, and engage with him, which I do with people on a regular basis. You know, you have to implement these things in real lifetime too, you know. And as a man, seeing other men going through these hard times, he's one of the ones that's in the middle and just needed a leader, you know what I mean? So he just kind of robotically followed what the witchy team do. So he's indulgent into these witchy behaviors because it's okay due to society, but his spirit naturally doesn't reside that way. But a lot of beings out here need a leader. So since they're not connected with Source, they follow the system, you know. And that's why I say the ones in the middle become the tricky ones, because they aren't running around with ill intentions, but they're intentionally doing ill things due to their leader. The opposite in the opposition to the creator, you know what I mean? And it's always hard seeing men in those hard spaces. It's weird to me when I see or hear of, you know, women not having no empathy for men when we get to those hard, traumatic, like, confusing, chaotic states, you know. Because as men, we already trying to hold it together and do everything we can. And just seeing him out in public, you know, trying to manage through work, but then still got this energy and motion going on, but he got to get the money, so he still got to figure out a way to whip his energy around faster, you know. It's extremely difficult just seeing people with no empathy, you know, no sympathy for others in this manner. And regardless of the life he walked, right, he's gonna have to wear all of those things that he done, you know. So your karmic thing is, it comes back right away if it's just one or two things. But when you've been walking a life of doing ill-intentional things unintentionally, it keeps falling out your pocket. So, you know, you go from year 11, you go to 12, it's still spilling out your pocket because you're still continuously leaving this signature vibration behind you. And I say I feel bad because I do feel for people, but I also understand we're in a day and age of knowledge and information, and they could be researching and learning a lot more. But we gotta all understand, like, especially us over here, we're way stronger than the average being. If you're over here, you're way stronger than the average being. I'm not talking about muscles spiritually. You are way more stronger. Your empathy, your empathetic abilities go way higher. You know, your intuitiveness is way more divine. We have become the leaders and the elders of this realm. But because we all look similar, a lot of people will look past those concepts. You have to be in one of the matrix positions or titles for people to actually perceive you that way. But I know for a lot of us, we just gonna walk and project that light anyways, and they gonna see it for what it is, or they can reject it. But it will be very plain and very obvious, the light and the vibes that's radiating off of you, you know. And with me saying that, we gotta understand, for the ones that's in the middle, you know, that hasn't really sided with source, but unintentionally, intentionally follow the system, these beings will need a lot more and a little bit more assistance from us in those spaces. And especially since we already built for this battle, we're strong enough and solid enough to be able to help and assist. And for the ones who growing in this space who haven't built up the strength quite right yet, take your time, ease into it. Don't be giving energy and you aren't quite ready to be trying to help somebody out while they're in those spaces. So these are just a handful of things we got to keep in mind, you know, as I'm talking about not going all in, and you know, some of the things that go hand in hand with it. I had my battery die out. I got 2 batteries, couldn't find the second one, so this is why I had to change locations and just refinishing off the end of the other piece of the video that was just going. And I was just getting my workout on, so I figured I'd just transition all into one, still get this done, you know. So, and the weather is picking up now, so it just kind of helps all in the spaces. But we have to be mindful that we are the big brother, the big sister, the daddy, the mama to a lot of the beings out here. We're those relatives that they come to. Even if you're younger than some of the other people that come to you, spiritually, you're still higher than them. And I know some people just hate the fact that, you know, we're all similar, but then we're all different, which is why we operate on different frequencies, which is why everybody don't process the same way. You know, we don't have things in place to keep the Creator's law first. So then it comes down to us, our self-discipline, and how much work we're willing to put in to maintain that self-discipline. But you got to be mindful of going all in at a time like this. We see everything is changing and ramping up. You go all in with something, with some finances, and then you have a situation next week due to the system making a change in their algorithms. Now you're trying to figure out how to scramble and get that back, you know? We have to tread very lightly, but be brave in the process of managing our energy and giving back to the people in the community. We don't have a community to feel that we're a part of or that we're impacting besides us, the ones that's creating the community. But outside of that, this is why it seems like it's every man for themselves. And that's why we're here to create and be a part of this shift that's happening right now. But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.